Okay, so I'm back here and I'm going to flip off me in a second just so you can see and kind of view the rest of the notes here. But please think about any questions that you have along the way, especially when we're building all these different types of documents. This week, as I said, we're focusing on LinkedIn and we're going to be focusing on letters of recommendation too. So hiding myself right now so you can kind of see. We wanted to get started on building our profile, which leads to a network, which builds a brand for yourself. And I know you're thinking, like, I'm not a brand. Well, you are, because you're going to be marketing yourself towards these job opportunities, internships opportunities, and whatever else that might be. If you don't have a LinkedIn, you're going to sign up for one this week and you're going to create your profile. You're going to make sure you're going to be, when you read our assignment, you're going to friend me, you're going to friend your classmates, but it's very easy. I recommend signing up with your school email and creating a password. It is super quick to do that, and I'll show you mine once we kind of get through. So once you've signed up, if you haven't already, or if you've forgotten your password, or you need to log in, you want to start from scratch, you can see here, I just have sort of a web one that I found to kind of give you, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. It's a very sort of basic kind of format, and what's nice about LinkedIn is that you can actually import your resume that's already done and just add to it. So if you don't want to type in everything separately, you can see, I'll go back here, that there's portions on the side where you can add photo, your education, your experience, your skills. It's very similar to constructing and building your resume, except that it allows you to go way more in depth. You can see on the bottom here, there's the ability to summarize more of what you do, to pick projects, to highlight languages, talk about publications. Some of you have published, and that's fantastic. Talk about organizations you're involved with, honors. I would say don't worry about test scores, but you can list certain courses that you're taking, certifications, all your volunteer work. You can even put in specific categories on here, which is really awesome and I think quite a good attribute to this. So again, these are some stock photos, but like I said, these are a little bit more professional. If you have one that was taken, you can even have a friend or someone in your family take one. I think one of my first ones was just up sort of against a blank wall, and I thought that was actually just more appropriate than ones I had for myself at the time. I have a little checklist. You'll have a little headline to start off with here. And if you can't fill in all the information, that's totally fine. The goal is just to create your profile, to update your profile, to fill in as much as you can about yourself. And then we'll go from there. I'll give suggestions on what to add, what to edit, what to recommend for, and then we can kind of put those together here. But I think the photo, that's the biggest thing. I love the part about a headline. You can picture that this matches sort of to if you have an objective statement on your resume. But I think this is really cool because it allows you to be a little bit more expressive and it allows you to sort of explain a little bit more than you can on a resume. So this can be like your very elaborated resume. You know, you have sort of unlimited bounds here of what people can look at. And the cool thing about LinkedIn is a lot of these skills and expertise and different parts that you put in are clickable keywords. So somebody can find you even through that way. So I love that. That makes it more accessible. You can write, and I will suggest you do this, a little summary about yourself. Doesn't have to be long. You can talk about what year you're at in school. You could talk about where you're at in your major, in your field, what you're looking forward to, what you want to do, some of your goals. I think that's awesome because you actually have a spot where you can like lay it out, and I think that's really neat. In fact, it's even prompted me that I should update mine a little bit more often than I should do. So I'm totally going to do this along with all of you. So your summary, you can absolutely, as I said, link to your personal statement or your objective and create something more elaborated here or create something even more new. Load up, add up on the experience, you know, just as you did with your resume. And I know you're going to go back and add a little bit more. But here, you know, make sure you're putting in your titles, your roles, the dates, and you can even link to sort of where you are working if they're on LinkedIn. Different organizations. So this is great. Have you joined any clubs at school, outside school? I know you are all so very, very involved. Make sure you put them on there, no matter how big or small you think it might be. Your education, starting with college. As I said, we're not going to really include high school on our LinkedIn profiles here. Any of your educational experiences, summer programs, anything like that, and this all goes along with any volunteer experience. Like I said, doesn't matter. Even if you weren't paid, be sure to list it because it's just as valuable, if not more valuable sometimes than paid work. Different skills and expertise. This is a really cool section because add, in my opinion, add at least 5 key skills. And then the people whom you connect with on LinkedIn can actually endorse you and recommend you for some of these skills. And that's a really cool part because, again, these are searchable features. So somebody could click on economics and find you through this. Someone could click on, management and find you. And then it shows that you're sort of already verified in these areas. So that's like a really neat feature that I think is on here that you can really utilize. Different honors and awards. I absolutely load them up. Don't be shy. This course is not about modesty. Load it all up. Let the world know about it. Put it on here. Same thing with courses. Totally, list some of the courses that maybe you're looking forward to in the fall semester, things you've taken in the past, anything that shows off your skills and interests and gets you excited. Totally put that on there. Same thing with projects. A lot of you are involved in different projects and in different opportunities on and off campus. You participate in a lot of different events. I know some of you, for example, participate in the CEPSHES Honors Conference. Anything you've worked in collaboration with other people, please put it on here if you feel you have a portion that you can fill in. And then finally, recommendations. You might not have this section right away, but surely I will write a recommendation for you. And your classmates can write who've worked with you and who working with you in this class can write recommendations for you. And it's nice, even if it's brief, you have a portion on here that you can go on and sort of look at. And I have some more tips. Don't worry, I have a direct link to this article and some other more to help you. So also, it's essential you can claim your unique URL. You can participate in groups. I love this because when you graduate, this is a really cool alumni tool. You can actively update your profile and you can complete your profile. And so this is nice because sometimes, look, we're all busy and you're more apt to be online than you are, to write things down or look at your physical resume. Sometimes if you update your LinkedIn first, it'll give you a lot more, recognition to go back and update your resume when the time comes for that too. I will touch upon Twitter in a little bit. So Twitter, we're not going to make a Twitter right away, but some of you might have Twitter. If you do, let me know. I keep my Twitter pretty professional, meaning that I have no problems with students connecting with me on Twitter. I have no problems with colleagues connecting with me on Twitter because pretty much everything I post is directly related to, school or research interests or teaching or my hobbies. I don't post anything on there, derogatory, defamatory. I do have a disclaimer, and I'll totally share my profile with all of you, that the thoughts and the views and the whatever's posted are my own. They're not associated with Rosemont or anything like that. But otherwise, I feel very comfortable because I have made sure my Twitter can be, I have nothing to hide and I have nothing that I wouldn't want my students to see or anything like that. So if you plan on using Twitter in that capacity where you would have colleagues or potential employers looking at it, then I would say, you can keep it public. You can follow other people, keep tabs on people. Twitter is this huge global platform to share your ideas. And actually, I don't think it's 140 characters or less anymore. I think they let you do more. But you do have the opportunity to see what's trending. I have seen a lot of organizations, have their own Twitter accounts, which in turn will post job and internship opportunities. So 2 organizations that I love, which I've mentioned before, I love Idealist. And I love Filiculture. They're 2 really good search engines that can lead you to jobs in nonprofit and creative areas. They actively post their jobs on Twitter. So it really depends what you want to use it for. If you say, no, like my Twitter's my Twitter, I'm going to be posting pictures on there, or, I'm going to be snapping back with jokes and everything, then keep it private and that's fine. But make sure that you pick one or the other. I wouldn't say don't try to do one and then try to do the other like that. Either keep your personal Twitter private or create a Twitter account that you're okay with sharing on a professional kind of platform. And this, of course, you want to keep in mind because we're going to talk about the lingo of these. It's a way of communication, these other organizations. You have tweets, you have retweets, you have feeds, handles, mentions, direct messaging, and of course, the hashtags, which are very important in helping you find and access other pieces of information and having people find you on there. So if you want to do this and you don't have a Twitter, totally add it. Think of your handle as your calling card. It's, unless you're a brand, use a version of your name. It's the best way for people to find you. Have your bio provoke interest and let people know what's, you're going to bring in your feeds. It makes yourself very easy to recognize in your profile, same thing as your LinkedIn. And you have your photos just like a Facebook cover photo. You can have sort of a cover one on there, like a landscape type of picture. You can figure out who you want to follow, who of your friends are on Twitter and follow them. You can look up favorite brands, comedians, public figures. I follow a lot of colleagues and friends who are interested in the same types of research that I am, but might be across the country, across the world. And this goes, I'm actually really keen on what to say and how to say it and finding your voice. This goes for all forms of social media that we're going to be looking at. So it's not only for Twitter, but same thing with LinkedIn. Like, ask yourself what you're trying to get out of it. If you're looking for entertainment, then keep a personal one. If you're trying to make professional connections, have your profile be reflective of that. What about you is interesting and will pull people in? And are you an expert in something? Are you funny? Do you have something to say? What's your platform? Or, do you have a lot of different platforms and areas of interest? And my thing is, you want to keep them tweet, have your many abbreviations on there, add pictures when you can. Don't go on any tweeting sprees or Facebook sprees or anything like that when you're, sort of sending out like post after post after post. And I say just be curious to join a larger conversation, see what hashtags are trending, and follow the groups, follow the people that you don't want to miss. I love these rules. I think they apply for all parts of social media. If you wouldn't say it in front of someone, don't tweet it, don't Facebook it. Don't put it on LinkedIn. Don't even Instagram it. I think that's a great rule. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, don't use a hashtag for every word. Oh my gosh, that's a no-no. Don't fall into a ranting trap because people will just scroll on by you. And everybody likes a little gratitude. So you can reach out, extend thanks to people who are following you or, follow them back. And practice thoughtful retweeting is really important. Don't retweet every single thing of interest to you on here. And I love this. Instagram is down, so describe your lunch to me. Oh, yes. I love Instagram. I love looking at the pictures. I don't suggest that this is one that you use Vietnamese for professional kind of means, unless you're, a photographer, unless I know some of you are in the arts or you have sort of accounts just for that. I think Instagram is one you should absolutely keep personal and professional. So I know that might be a little bit of hassle of choosing two, but I do think that's really important. And Facebook as well. I know plenty of organizations will tweet and Facebook and put their postings on there, and I think that's fine. I think that's great. I would just be really conscious. I don't love Facebook. I very rarely use Facebook anymore. Facebook was out when I was in college, and it had sort of just come out, and only you can access it when you were at a college, university. So to me, it's quite different these days. But with so many active users, certainly you can use it for professional means. However, like any of them, you're just going to want to be careful how you use them on there. So I put some information on here as well, so you can kind of go through that. And I love this infographic. You can go through it a little bit more for how you think, does anyone want to see it? Is it business? Is it personal? Would it be awkward to explain to your parents? Oh, that's a great question. Would it be awkward to explain to your boss? And I think it's cool. It kind of points you in the right direction of kind of where your work sort of should be here. So I've got a minute left on this, and I'm going to post all of these for you. I have some additional resources up here, and I have one more link that I will post in. Actually, this comes from someone at LinkedIn that they've posted. I think there's some great tips up here that you can use on how to create a profile. And so really, I want you to have fun with it. It should be fun. This is like a way more creative means of expressing yourself. And so I really want you to kind of do that a little bit more. I'm going to switch back to myself here. Okay, so you can kind of see me. And I'll be sure in a separate post, I'm going to share my LinkedIn. I'll share my Twitter. And part of your assignments are going to be finding me on there and finding your classmates on there too. So have fun with it, and I'll see you in our next set of notes.